Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to respond once again to a social media post put out by Zak George. And here on this video, which I'm not even going to play the video, I'm just going to respond to the caption on the video. That's all that's required to show just how, how sold out ideologically trainers really have become. Again, talk about the slippery slope in the dog training world. And lately, here with Zak George's posts, the posts he's put up, you really are starting to see it. The mask is really coming off here. And so here this caption is: balanced dog trainers call it correction, science calls it trauma. And so, when I talk about what's going on in the dog training world, those who identify as balanced dog trainers, understanding I call out both these groups by way of what they've come into agreement with. And you start to see, once you start to step back from all this, you start to understand there's serious problems going on in the dog training world. There's massive confusion. There's all these various controversies that have popped up over the last 2 or 3 years. They continue to pop up, and all the divisiveness happening between these two groups is back and forth. And meanwhile, no one's actually talking about the real issue. And here on my YouTube channel, you're going to hear me talking about the real problem. I don't identify as a balanced dog trainer. I don't identify as a force-free trainer. I identify with the truth. Okay, what's truth? Truth represents identifying by way of what training represents, by way of following a path of a intervention, and recognizing dogs as social animals in terms of how their decision-making process is influenced and governed at that level, the amazing connection that they share with us, the depth of that connection, what that represents, and connecting the dogs properly in terms of relationship, in terms of our role, which again, balanced and force-free trainers, they do not do that. They do not connect it that way. In fact, their whole basis for a approach, for a method, is based on superficial responses. Okay, understand that this is the problem at the very beginning. So we talk about, why it is and how it is that dogs can look amazing in the training environment as they're responding for treats or doing a great sit, a great down, a great stay. Only discover the relationship hasn't actually gotten any better once you go back into the real world and you're trying to figure all this stuff out. Well, it's because the two core ingredients I talk about, influence and control, are not part of this process. Okay, they don't come in the right way. So even here, we talk about balanced dog trainers who bring in, it's called corrections. Even the role of influence isn't defined properly. Okay, they're in a more of a reactionary posture. They're not dialed into the relationship the right way, the dog's state of mind. And so this sets up a problem because it opens that door up wide open for perception of dogs not to change, just like with force-free training. And so it's a type of spectrum. The further you go down that line away from what training represents, the wider and wider that door opens up to perception of dogs not changing. So again, by here in this this narrative, and this really kind of illustrates my point, that kind of ideological slippery slope with trainers like Zak George. I wouldn't even call him a trainer. He's just a social media really influencer who's exploiting all the confusion. So by here you see it, he goes and he's talking about trauma. But this goes into this whole thing about bribery, right? Appearances. One of the themes here is how dogs can gain an incredible amount of control in the relationship with their owner, even as they look balanced. Control offers up a false image of a balanced dog. This is how people get blindsided. Like, where did that come from? Dog suddenly looking, tail wagging, looking great, and then, bad things happen. But this whole thing about trauma too. So the kind of inflammatory language, pay attention. So even when, trainers like Zak George attempt to suggest that this is science, well, there's tremendous red flags, and one of them is the use of language to inflame, incite, exploit. And so the issue about trauma, so you see certain reactions of dogs. Understand that Zak George and trainers like him, even many balanced dog trainers, are unable to reconcile the responses of dogs to the relationship. Like, understand, this is one of the major themes that's missing in the sold out dog training community. Because the two core ingredients I talk about, they're not reconciled. Okay, so when you see dogs have certain reactions, they're not able to work beyond those reactions, work through those reactions, and then they'll take a path of, bribery, and then, that doesn't fix anything. It just leads people into, getting blindsided and blame shifting onto dogs. So again, another social media post put up that's totally disconnected from truth, from reality. It aligns with this permissive bribery-based ideology. And so again, encourage anyone to look for answers. Check out my website, lots of great information. I talk about not just the problem, but the solution by way of a intentional interaction-based method. Thanks for watching.